Okay, hello, welcome back to another Reacts video. Today we're watching how to get your first earnings by Miro. When I'm recording this, I changed to his controller sensitivity a couple days ago, and obviously he's earned probably one of the most out of every controller player there is, so probably some good tips and tricks, so let's get straight into it.
I'm going to be explaining you guys how to
Right, put
get
my
your
headset on.
first earnings in
First
Fortnite.
earnings,
As all
I
of you
want to
probably
do
know,
season.
I'm a 6-time FNCS winner with over $1 million earned from the game. Now I'm going to use my 6 years of
$1 million,
Fortnite
exactly.
competitive knowledge at the highest level. Make sure every one of you watching reaches your first earnings. To do this, I made a post on my YouTube channel, as well as a tweet asking you guys what questions you had about making your first earnings, or just more earnings in general, if you already have some, of course. And I'm going to be answering these questions throughout the entire video. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments any other questions you guys might have about making your first earnings in Fortnite. Let's get right into it. Thanks why T asked me, how do you master a drop spot? So mastering a drop spot can come down to a lot of things such as loot routes, your timing, your drop maps, and things like that. The best way to master a drop spot is to pick a drop that you're very familiar with to begin with. Get a drop map, and then after you get the drop map down, make sure you practice it, just arena, stupid tournaments, stuff like that. And then after you got the drop map part down and you picked where you want to land, you want to go basically you just want to loot it like just normally, and then once you loot it, you have a feeling for where all the chests are, all that good stuff, and then you want to make a loot route. And then once you make a loot route, you want to focus on the main things of timing, when you can leave the POI, where the most mats are, stuff like that, because your loot route wants to be as optimized as possible for speed and efficiency, meaning basically you want to be able to farm mats as quick as possible, leave the POI as quick as possible, and go to your surge base as quick as possible. And to do that, you can go on Fortnite.gg, or you can even go in game and just look for the quickest loot route. And then once you get all of that done, another great way to master a drop spot is to 2v2 your friends, or 1v1 if you're looking for a solo drop spot. And that's just overall is going to give you the most experience quickly for your drop spot. Hooded 1K asked me, how much luck does it take to get your first earnings? This is a very good question because luck does play a factor in your earnings and earning for the first time. If you're playing the solo cash cups, for example, and you're going into endgame and you felt like you played perfect, you have 3 medkits, 4 floppers, splashes, you have everything. And
I have just loaded out solo victory cup. I should have earned that game. I'm still annoyed about it. This is yesterday when I'm recording this.
you go into the heal off and you still lose because of one zone tick that you took earlier in the game. But I would say for the most part, luck isn't really a factor if you're good enough. But to get your first earnings, most of you guys are going to be going into heal off and things like that. I would say 10% luck, 15% luck out of 85 or 90. And the rest is mostly just skill. Because if you guys can properly manage your game and get into the end game with 3 medkits, floppers, splashes, whatever it may be, eventually you will earn. StamsFN asked, how do you rotate in a meta with no mobility? This is also a very, very good question, and a question that a lot of pros might not even know. I kind of like to consider it not teaming, but sort of a friendship kind of thing. It's a friendship meta. So, and what I mean by that, I'm not talking about like trading surge or anything like that. So when there's players next to you, you have to know that you don't have to shoot them. If they're rotating in front of you and they're not looking back at you and you also need to go that way, and they eventually rotate, but you don't rotate and you shoot them in their back, all they're going to do is turn around and shoot you and stagger your rotate. So you got to just pick and choose your right rotates and when to shoot people in front of you. Spexy asked me, does practicing actually help? And I think this is a very obvious question, but I'm going to answer it anyways. Practicing does help, but making sure you're practicing the right things and spending your time wisely is going to be more beneficial than just casually practicing. You want to make sure that you're actually improving the things you need to improve. If you're already a good box fighter, maybe you should stay away from box fights for a little bit and practice something you lack in, and that'll always improve your game all around. Because if you find yourself practicing the same things over and over again, you're not really going to see any improvement. But if your aim is bad, but you're a good box fighter, you want to focus more on your aim. Bog_leaks asked, is it worth pursuing Fortnite as a future career? Fortnite is honestly a really solid career if you have the time and dedication to do it. There's a lot of tools that Fortnite gives you to grow. Like you have your YouTube, your Twitch, your Instagram, TikTok, UEFN, competitive earnings.
None of this has been tips about first earnings. This is about how to use it as a career.
It really just all comes down to how dedicated you are into making it a career. Obviously, there is some times where it might not be worth it for some people, given like age, school, etc., stuff like that. But for the most part, if you are, dedicated and can do all those things, it can pay off really well. Flex asked me, do you need specific items to earn? This is a very 50-50 question because some items do help, such as the siphon coin and the radar scanner, but in reality, no, you don't need certain items to earn. The only thing you really do need, which I guess is a certain item, is like the medkits, floppers for endgame, and the heal off and the solo victory cup. But other than that, the medallions only increase your chances, but you don't really technically need them. My good friend Mike Scythe asked, how do you go about improving your mechanics in duo chemistry? Improving your mechanics will always come down just to the core practice and playtime, but if you really truly want to grind and like practice the right things, you know, box fighting is always going to be up there. 1v1ing people, realistics, PGs, anything like that, or even there's a lot of turtle fight maps that help your quick reaction mechanics and such. As for duo chemistry, you know, same thing. It basically goes with like playtime and playing scrims together and playing the stupid tournaments together. Even hanging out with them outside of a Fortnite setting is all very good ways to build a good duo chemistry. Also, not dropping your duo. If you find yourself consistently looking for new duos, obviously the chemistry is not going to instantly be there. So it's always better to just sort of focus on practicing as much as you can. But that doesn't mean you have to stick with someone. If you guys' placements are just not that good, then it's probably not best to stick and look for something else, because you can tell before dropping someone that it's just not gonna work. Low, I will never lose asked me, do you play better when you don't care? I actually love this question because I can relate to this question very well. I truly play better when I don't care about the game. And what I mean by don't care about the game, I play as if there's nothing to lose, because in reality there really is nothing to lose. Like for globals, for example, I played that whole globals acting like I didn't care, like I was the best and I had nothing to lose, because at the end of the day there's always going to be another solo cash cup, duo cash cup, grand finals. You always have more chances. But if you play like there's nothing on the line and just not care, I find myself playing better. But I know that doesn't really happen with other people. Sometimes you need to care more. And what I mean by don't care, like I'm not just sitting here hopping in random boxes and like throwing the game. I mean, I don't care about the tournament in terms of like, oh well, if I do bad, I do bad, I'm just gonna try my hardest kind of thing. And another thing to go about like not caring, I guess, is not getting nervous. I don't let myself get nervous for tournaments, because you're just going to find yourself playing way worse. Kevin asks, what is the best way to improve your aim on controller? The best way to improve your aim on controller is actually outside of the game. It's mostly confidence. You don't want to ruin your confidence because you're just going to be overshooting, over flicking, not hitting the head, yada yada yada. You want to stick to like a very certain sensitivity or a range of sensitivities. You don't want to go from playing 35 to 50. Just stay neutral, stay in the area that you know, and then your aim should improve. At PlanetYT asked me, what strategies or preparations helped you secure your first earnings in Fortnite? What strategies and preparations helped me secure my first earnings in tournaments? There wasn't really a lot of strategy or preparation. It was more so just like consistent game time and playing like all the solo cash cups and stuff I eventually just earned for the first time. But with the solo cash cups now, they're very simple to earn. Not a lot of strategy actually went into it, but I can assume the more strategy and preparation you put in will probably reward you a lot better. He also asked, how did you balance improving your skills while also managing the pressure of making money? I don't really think either of those go hand in hand. I'd say that when you're first playing and trying to make your first earnings, it's always better to just not really think about the money and actually just think about improving in general, because eventually if you kind of like let go of the whole money aspect, because in my eyes there's always going to be another solo cash cup, there's always going to be another duo cash cup. So if you just play to improve, the earnings will eventually just come along with it. When we get to our final question, Lucas asks, what is the best game mode to get your first earnings in? This is a very easy one. Solo victory cash cup. The solo victory cash cup is top 7,500 to qual. All you have to do is win a game, and most of the games go on the medkits, and a lot of people that win the games are actually not pros and really not that good. So when it comes down to the end game, you just get, you know, 3 medkits, floppers, that sort of thing, and you have a really good chance of winning. And it's probably going to be the easiest earnings you get, besides maybe 0 builds, which is still a good chance, but there's a lot of cheaters in that. But solo victory cup is definitely the best thing to get your first earnings in.
Well, now we know, I guess. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, watch your video on screen. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.